Christmas 2025, icicle put up attempt number 1. And I say attempt because I think it's going to rain. I got up kind of early this morning and I went around the yard and cleaned up all the leaves. I kind of fluffed up the grass with the leaf blower because it rained last night, so it was a little bit wet. And I got everything kind of dried off. Looked on the weather map, it was clear, no rain in sight. And then I just opened the door to come outside, and you know, within 30 seconds of me doing that, it started raining. And now it's like misting. So I don't know what we're gonna do here. There's a small band of rain on the map now. There's a slipping hazard involved in doing it when it's wet, but at least the leaves are all gone. That's the biggest slipping hazard. I'd rather do it in the rain while it's 55 degrees than in dry tomorrow when it's 30. It's supposed to stink and snow tomorrow. So I think we're just gonna go for it. This is what you deal with. Sometimes you get lucky and you have good weather and everything is fine. You can get the icicles up and it's easy. Other times you battle the rain, you battle the cold, you battle the snow. We had the perfect day, but unfortunately I was procrastinating and didn't have it ready yet. Now we just need to get all this stuff off the ladder here and then we'll slip it out. It's gonna get wet. I hate when things get wet. It shouldn't get wet, but it is what it is. I really don't have much of a choice. And I'm recording with the same 2 camera setup I recorded with last year. And you know, there was a lot of stupid comments. I know how this goes. I've been doing this long enough. I know how it's going to happen. We're going to get a bunch of stupid comments again. We got a bunch of people last year that said, "What is that stupid box on the? It's the video. What, are you watching it?" Anyways, I know how this works. If I don't do it this way, and if I just leave the on-person camera full screen the entire time, 80% of the video is going to be unwatchable because it's going to be something like this where there's a ladder in front of the camera or it's not in the frame or whatever because I'm not paying attention to it. I'm working. So that's why we have the other camera, which at this particular moment I'm not paying attention to it. Go figure, that's ironic. But this will cover the rest of the times. So at least there's something in the frame you can watch. You know, this will show the progress of what we're doing. And you know, at times you'll be able to see a bit of a closer up view with more details from the GoPro camera. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And of course if I do it with just the other camera, well, I can't see anything, it's too far from the screen. Can't win. No matter what you do, you can't win. That's why I do it this way. And now it looks like I haven't cleaned up the leaves in a week, even though I just finished a few hours ago. I can already feel it's getting cooler out. I bet this this rainstorm is going to bring in the cold front. Well, what's working in our favor this year is I think this should go pretty quick. Was not playing with those stinking clips this year. We don't have to deal with, you know, the light's broken because I already fixed them. It definitely stinks that it's raining though. I've done it in the rain before. I've done setup and takedown both in the rain before, so this is not anything I've never dealt with though. Alright, this was a problem last time I did it. And I'm trying to remember what the problem was. Well, here's a problem. It's not moving back at all. I think the problem here is all stemming from this bag of concrete, which it broke at the bottom, so now it's leaking out, which is not great. Oh, that's way heavy. That's very, very heavy. I'm gonna spend more time getting the stupid ladder out than anything else. Now I'm sure we get people complaining that I have the microphone too close and you can hear me breathing. Would you rather me suffocate during the production? I mean, give me a break. The problem is these tables really need to move over, which means everything here has to move over. This has to move over. This has to move over. This really is a horrible procedure for getting this out, but something that only gets done a couple times a year. It's not worth trying to make it better. Yeah, it's getting cold out here. This is not cool. Oh, there's a stupid squirrel tearing up the yard. Classic. Hate those things. Okay. Did I take the tables out last time? I guess I must have. I don't see how I would have done it otherwise. Normally I just leave the tables out, but it's raining. I gotta get them back in. Twice the work because it's raining. Stinking rain. For the last several months it wouldn't rain at all around here. Severe drought. And now it's raining every other hour. Okay. Now let's get camera number 2 out here. Got to get this plugged in. I might have to just like put this here because of the rain. Keep it under the overhang, I guess. Or you know what else might make an interesting shot is if I put it up by the door here. And that works. Maybe we'll do that this year. Actually, since the hanging is going to be done underneath, this is probably a good angle. Alright. Now let's get a cord. Actually, we need 2 cords to go up there. We need one for the lights and one for the camera. I can't believe it's raining now. It hasn't rained in months, and now it rains. This is not charging because the other end of the cord is not plugged in. Duh. Stupid. This should be sufficient length for the front, but I am going to need to get some longer cords. When we move around to the other side, I guess I'll just deal with that when the time comes. Alright. There's some crumbs in this boot. I'm going to get those out. Probably leaf crumbs. Okay, so the first thing that we need is we need one of the cut strings of we need a full string of C9s. That's the flaky one for the back. I need a non-flaky one for the front. Those are the 2 that I cut down to size. Where's the I really thought that I had prepared. Oh, this is what I prepared. Here it is. Now we're also going to need a 5-gallon bucket because there's leaves all up in the gutters. I don't want to spread the leaves all over the place because I just cleaned everything up. Alright, how are we going to attach this to the... I don't want any weight on these hooks because the way they're hanging is not the way I wanted. I didn't grab into the wood. And there's a little thing there, piece of wire there, we'll use that, that's fine. Can't believe it's raining now. Unbelievable. Oh, that camera's in the wrong spot. Yo, gotta be kidding with the stinking leaves. Look at that trash. Now it's just slipping hazard again. Wow, this is caked. Surprised we didn't have a flood last night when it rained. No, I'm making a mess on the side of the house here. Oh well, that'll be an issue that spring cleaning will have to take care of. Oh boy, it's getting cold and windy out here. Well, we'll see how much we can do. We might have to stop. Weather's not cooperating right now. These hooks are pretty small. I think in retrospect, one size bigger would have been ideal. It holds one wire fine, but it doesn't really fit two. But it's also not really a problem because the C9s can be connected to the Icicles wires without much difficulty. So it kind of doesn't matter. Let's Probably what I'll just do as we go along, I'll connect the C9s to the icicles. No, it looks like the rain has stopped for the moment. Yeah, it just started again. Yeah, this totally stinks. This is awful. Oh well. This isn't gonna work. How the heck am I gonna reach that? Something's off kilter here. I'm not sure what it is though. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get there from over here. At least I really don't think so. I don't know. How the heck? I do this every year and I forget how I did it because so much time lapses. You know, we could just go back and watch the old video and probably find out how I did this. But that would make it way too easy. I forgot the bucket. The leaves bucket. It's almost not even worth bothering with. It's packed full already where I cleaned out. Just have to sweep these out from below. I guess it's deceiving from down below. This is not out of reach at all. Yeah, these hooks are smaller than is ideal. I think that they're still better than what we were doing before, but they're not perfect. This is not cooperating. There we go. I'll keep that in mind. getting really cold. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish today. It wasn't windy earlier. I'd say this would have been fine if it wasn't windy, but with this wind, it does not feel too good. Although, it's stronger if both wires are there, but I'm not sure it's worth doing because it's kind of forcing the clips out of position there, and I'm not sure. So though it's stronger, it might damage the clips over time. Like the holes might come, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem ideal. This is definitely better. It's better in all ways. It's just not any easier to install. Should keep the lights out of the sun too. The sun, keep them out of the rain. Hopefully shield them from some of the wind. I think this is definitely a big improvement. We're losing daylight already. I don't care about it for the light, I'm concerned about it for the temperature. It's going to get cold. That was a stinking advertisement for roofing that just went by. And the guy comes to the door earlier today and says, oh, you know, with all the storms, we want to check on people's roofs. Storms? You mean it rained? What a scam. Those people prey on individuals. It's terrible. They prey on the elderly and people that just don't know any better. Oh, I can't see the hooks now. This is the same problem I had when putting them up. See if camera number 2 is still in a good angle. I'm probably going to stop for a new battery soon. Only 24% left. It is so cold out here. Probably dropped 15 degrees when that rain passed through, that's how weather works. I'm not sure it's worth continuing this today. I might just wait until it's sunny. Yeah, I'm gonna call it after this. It's too windy. I'm freezing out here. Maybe if the wind dies down we can finish later tonight, but for now this is too cold. Well, we made progress. That's important. Yeah, the rain's picking up again. I think we're going to call it there. Well, we made some progress. We'll either come back again tonight or try again tomorrow. It's already bitter cold out, so at this point I'd rather do it when it's at least sunny. Oh boy, there comes the rain. Not cool. Wow, now it's really coming down. Yeah, we gotta call it for today. I had to stop pretty quick because it started raining kind of heavy. So I just cut the video so I can move quick. But this is the progress we made today. I was hoping to get a lot more done than this, but sometimes this is what happens. So this is what it looks like from the inside. It looks much nicer from the inside because now we can clearly see the C9s. It looks just as nice from the inside as it does from the outside. And while this did not make it any easier to put up necessarily, it's definitely stronger. It's got to be wind resistant, and it should keep the lights out of the sun too, so hopefully less damage to these strings that are on the front and back like this. So I'm happy with this. I think it was an improvement. I wish it was a little easier to put up. If the hooks are bigger, it would have been easier to put up. Maybe I'll consider changing on the bigger ones next year, but this will work fine for this year. So we'll have to revisit this, I don't know, maybe later tonight or probably another day. It's already going into the 40s and it's windy, so I'd rather just wait for a day when it's in the 40s and not windy and sunny. It'll feel better at least. It's the next day. It's been very windy overnight, and it's still pretty windy today. You can tell it's been strong because all the leaves have been bunched up in little piles like that. The local anemometer over here has measured gusts of up to 16 miles per hour, which when you've got 16 miles an hour sifting through in between the yards like this at the ground level, it's got to be 2 or 3 times that up in the treetops. This is some pretty strong gusts here. I think the forecast said potentially up to 45 mile per hour gusts. Anyways, it's been strong, and all the icicles that I put up yesterday are still down. In fact, I've been watching them when we get these high gusts, and they really don't even sway that much. So I guess being a couple inches under the overhang this way really protects them from the elements quite nicely. So this is good. This has solved that problem. It's not perfect. I wish I used bigger hooks. It would make it a little bit easier to put up and down, but this has solved the problem of them flipping up. So I'm not going to have to go back up on the roof until it's time to take them down. You can see they're just barely moving. Now I can't finish today. This weather is totally not conducive to being outside. It's in the 30s. The gusts are very strong. It's cold. This is exactly what I was afraid of happening. Is it just becomes too cold to be outside. You know, it's not so bad when you're talking about the stuff on ground level, because I can go out and do, I can go outside and put all the lights on this tree in 10 minutes and then come back inside and warm up. The icicles, like, you got to commit at least 45 minutes to get a decent section of it done. Between getting the ladder out and everything, so it's a little bit more difficult. But sometimes this is what we deal with, and this is what we're dealing with this year. So that's unfortunate, but what is good is this has definitely solved that problem, and we will have no icicles flipping on the roof this year.